Okay, so nobody's getting the truth from the mainstream media, folks. It's well past time to open your eyes, your ears, and your mind. Do your own research because something isn't right here. And if you can't see that, you are not paying attention, folks.
It's the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order. A world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations.
So let's look at each one of these and see how we can get this down to zero. Probably one of these numbers is going to have to get pretty near to zero. Now that's back from high school algebra, but let's take a look. First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
The important message that we need Australians to get vaccinated as quickly as possible. In line with that, I do encourage all Australians to please go and book your vaccinations as soon as you can if you haven't already done so.
Emma, get away!
When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
Okay, we need to stand up against this tyranny, folks. Stop giving away your freedoms and liberties, because the more you give up, the more these people will take until you have absolutely nothing left. That's their agenda.
All right, good evening, folks. How are you? Sort of running a bit behind as we are most nights lately, but anyway, that's and then these guys, you know, like ASIO just does a pretty good job. I wonder how much these guys get paid for this. I don't know. Like, anyway, I used to ride dirt bikes too. Okay, so how are we? I reckon it's a pretty good night, and it's going to be a pretty funny night. And if you haven't seen the Ballarat bust up, unbelievable! It's brilliant, guys. You know, this is like, yeah, just humorous. You know, like it's not humorous, it's serious actually. But yeah, to see tractors chasing Albo and Jacinta, you know, down the road is just absolutely unreal. This is what we need. All right, we all need to. Yeah, see these people in public. We put it on them, you know, but we've got a couple of clips from it, guys. But yeah, quite amusing and quite satisfying, actually. Yeah, not satisfying to see what the farmers and that are going through, but certainly satisfying to see them buck up and have a bit of a go, you know. So, which they've been doing for a while, actually. Yeah, so, you know, that's what we're going to get into, guys. But it's all over the mainstream. It's hitting everywhere. So everybody's seeing it. That is another good thing, guys, that it's out in the mainstream. People are watching it, and they're actually putting the heckling on. So 3 Western Australian local governments in turmoil as 2 of them are dissolved. The city of Nedlands and Port Hedland have been dissolved by the state government. So interesting things coming on there, guys. They're in panic mode. Here comes another one, late ASIO. At the moment, and I thought we'd be close to this, guys, but the UK sees the highest energy prices in the Western world. So, you know, we thought ours were hurting us. Like, wow. So, yeah. You know, they got television tax over there. They got everything, man. You know, you can't even, they knock your door down for watching television over there. It's just like ludicrous. Again, just got Albo because I was flicking through some things, but, oh no, better not hit that. All right, hang on, guys. Nearly throwing myself out the studio. Okay, yeah, and Albo, you know, urging the people to be patient and be nice. What a load of fucking crap, you know what I mean? Like, dead set. Anyway, let's have a look at it. Kaz, come in when you're ready, mate, and we'll get into a few things. But yeah, quite humorous, I think, with what's going on. I'm loving it. I think it was a great day.
Look, it's crazy. It is crazy. You can see that the Australia's pretty much at boiling point. Look, here's Albo at the farmers' rally being heckled.
Build a coal-fired power station, they can go and do it. It hasn't happened. It hasn't happened because the market's determined that it doesn't stack up. We need,
ladies and gentlemen, please.
And the cheapest form of new energy is renewables.
Yeah.
The science told us that climate change was real.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll have to stop if you keep interjecting.
And I'll continue to engage, but I won't bullshit people. I won't come along and say, we're going to do something with new coal-fired power stations when it didn't happen.
It didn't happen because you've been signed up to the agenda since you were a youngster, bloke. We know all about you. You and Jim Hockey, you know, opening up the, what was it, the first Palestine, you know, people of Palestine or whatever when you first hit Parliament. We know all about you, Sleazy. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because when he left, there was a bit of a chase on.
Yeah. Where's the Benny Hill music? We had the Benny Hill music going.
All right, now Belinda from Billboard Battalion, she's basically was there, and she sent us this. So we got the SOS message to us on the inside that he was chased by tractors. Then they went to the first break, then announced an evacuation message over the loudspeaker. We all had to evacuate the Civic Hall. Then we heard it was a bomb threat. So again, we stood in the teeming rain. Brain-numbing Albo, followed by Jacinta, and a huge crowd heckling, heckling crowd of farmers up the front. Now, that's what happened, but what's actually happened is the memes. So here already the memes started.
Brilliant.
So, very interesting. And then Jacinta was booed as she arrived here.
Look, they got it all fenced off. Why do they have to fence it off when one of our politicians are coming?
You can't catch rollers. Should be taken from it.
And then she was booed inside.
Is something you simply
Unreal.
can't find anywhere else. The fresh air, the quiet, the space. And the sense of community and connectedness. For me, as I raise my kids with my husband in central Victoria, for us it's heading out with the dogs and the kids into the bushland around our house, or starting my day walking through the gum trees. It's watching my kids climb trees, chase the dogs through the shrub, catch fish and lose themselves in nature. That's what grounds us.
While others
And
have
then-
to tiptoe through the solar panels, she gets to walk in the bush. You know, beautiful, isn't it? You know?
And then when she was leaving, a tractor blocked her from leaving.
And Premier was also briefly blocked from leaving the venue by those protesters on tractors. We've got some vision of that on screen now as well. Hundreds of kilometres of transmission lines are planned throughout Victoria, and new laws which passed state parliament overnight Farmers could be fined up to $12,000 if they block land access to these transmission companies. The CEO of Vic Grids spoke a short time ago, and he was also heckled by the crowd inside. Let's take a listen.
And if you don't want a wind farm or a turbine or a solar farm or a battery on your land, you can just say no. Now,
bullshit.
And thank you. And
$12,000.
And thanks. If we can just hear Alistair out while he answers, that'd be great.
So
He knew our opposition and he still put us in it.
Good on you, people. Good on you, people. This is what we need.
It
put
is
them in
actually.
the put them in the spotlight.
I know, it's great. So it's very interesting.
Tractor Gate. They call it. He's just put it up there, Peter Brayley. Tractor Gate. We'll send it around the world. That's brilliant.
It is, and you can see why. Like, it's not just the Vic grower. Like, it's basically this thing has basically stopped them with their property rights, and there's lots of people up in arms about it.
Surprise. In true Victorian fashion, wake up to some draconian legislation being pushed through all hours of the night by our stupid Labor government. It's the usual suspects turned against us. VicGrid, the VicGrid bill has passed. There's amendments, but hey, you can now be fined $12,000 for refusing entry to your own property.
Unreal.
Oh, and plus, let's not forget all of the taxes that they're piling on top of them and all that sort of stuff.
And that bloke just sitting there in front of everyone, just lying his ass out. All you got to do is say no. Then you give them a $12,000 fine because they said, no, you're not coming on.
That's it.
Unbelievable.
Well, Berkey, and actually shout out to Berkey. I tried to get you on here one time, and you lost it was in the days of the crackdown, and then you lost your TikTok account, and then I haven't been able to find you since, but I came across this one. So he's got some very, very interesting information.
Oh, babe, what are you going to do, mate? You're going to get me arrested for telling people the truth, for getting the truth out there about you. Now, I will swear on my dad's grave. I will swear on my dad's grave. I did a job for a beautiful, lovely lady that I've known for quite some time out there, just southwest Sydney, just a few suburbs away. Her name's June, a lovely lady. She's 90 years of age, Albo. She's 90 years of age. Her husband in heaven, and his dad, funny enough. But lovely June, just over there, like I said, southwest Sydney. She knows that your father, Albo, and yourself, obviously, and your grandfather. So your grandfather, your dad, and yourself, Albo, were members of the Communist fucking Party of Australia. Am I lying, Albo? Look at me now. Look at me now, Albo. I hope someone fucking shows you this. I'm just your fucking Joe Blow from Sydney's western suburbs, mate. I'm just a fucking Aussie battler. Paying me taxes, self-employed, pay me taxes to keep people like you fucking alive. You fucking dog. You are a fucking dog. Oh, what are you going to... Oh, no, there's no threat there. I didn't threaten you. What are you going to send the coppers round, are you? Albo, people like myself and millions of people like me have had a fucking gutful of you and your government, your corruption, your communism. Oh, so as I was saying, Albo, so Edge Road Minto. Oh, what is it? Is that where you went? Edge Road. Just down the road here. Is that where you and your communistic fucking dog mates went to, is it? So you and your father and your grandfather were all members of the Australian Communist Party. Am I lying, Albo? Come round and arrest me if I'm lying. No.
Very interesting. So it was in the family.
Yep.
Yeah. So very interesting. And then you have like the comedy coming out with the bins. Okay, the memes that started. Australians have always got a humorous thing about every situation. So breaking news: Jacinta Allen rolls out gunman bins in hope they will hand themselves in. And then there's this one.
The first machete bin opening. I'm sure you're happy that your taxes has been well spent. Now we're going to cut the ribbon. And this is how you do it. You get your knife and you put it in the hole. Cheers.
As funny as it is, we should be outraged, guys, and we are outraged. 300 and something thousand, $325,000 a bin. Are you gagging? They're pissing in your face, guys.
Well, now the situation is very interesting as far as this Desi Freeman goes. So now there's a lot of people, even normies, are asking questions at the moment because apparently there were 10 officers that went to arrest him at 3 o'clock in the morning. Now I'm not sure. I haven't been able to confirm that, but that was a report that was given to me by someone else. And
10 with no body cams. No body cams.
All
they say.
the body cams failed. All that. Now Marley, his wife, handed herself in to the police yesterday and was arrested. Okay, then had to front court, but no one at 10 a.m. today. But no one was allowed in. It was a closed court. Okay, and security was sent away, and the 7 News team were there to film it. Have a look at this.
Ex parte.
Police killer has turned up at Wangaratta Court here this morning, flanked by a group of supporters, and only 7 News was there. Marley Freeman and her 15-year-old son were arrested last night. We believe she was told to appear at Wangaratta Court this morning at 10, but when they arrived, the court was closed. The group, confused and pleading with security to let them in. After being told she could not enter the court, Freeman's wife was whisked into a car by friends. This afternoon, the Commissioner didn't rule out charges.
There may or may not be charges that follow.
Marley Freeman and the children were not with the suspect on Tuesday when police officers executed a warrant. It's understood now she is staying with friends.
Why couldn't they have them in there? They haven't got their story quite straight yet, Kaz. Couldn't afford the letter in there. I don't know. I just, think so Dick Dastardly, but,
I don't know. It seems to be going AWOL on them really quickly, actually, and it looks like they're trying to tie up loose ends. So did she have some sort of agreement? I
don't know, but here's a quote I've given you a few times from Norma Graham, guys, that I got drilled to me. What a wicked web we weave when at first we do deceive. All right? And the authorities have fucking made another web for themselves.
Well, it is actually very interesting. Now, of course, Mike Holt, he had communications with Desi. He's had this to say about it.
I want to clarify something about Desi Freeman and the cop shooting. Now, Desi was in fear of his life, and he told me this a couple of weeks ago on the phone. Why? Because the cops have been harassing him, not only in Bright, but outside of Bright in other areas of Victoria as well. They stole his 2 cars, they've beaten him up, they've dragged him through the court.
So now I put together last week a video called Memoirs of a Time Traveller. I expected these kinds of laws like this, but I expected it it was a satire anyway, a satire take on the March 31st going south and the needing to tighten up the gun laws. So I got that wrong. But it's here all the same. So, here you have, we need to make sure we know where our firearms are in this country. So, there it is. It's so good though, because a lot of our people are so savvy. They called it as well. Like I'm seeing all over Twitter, called it, nailed it, named it, because people are actually awake and understand really what's going on. And then This is really, now this should alarm everybody. So this is the nightly. I don't know this is. I don't know anything about Aaron Patrick. Analysis. Desi Freeman, the sovereign citizen movement, faces an aggressive police response. Now, it says here, when a police officer hears the words, "I do not consent," they might reach for their gun. But down here, this is what is concerning. Okay? Listen to this. This is from Freedom of Information Act. Okay? So it says, these groups emphasize their view that public servants work for them and public buildings belong to them, according to a federal police presentation released under the Freedom of Information Act, Freedom of Information law.
Well, guess what? They do. You do work for us, and they do belong to us.
During anti-lockdown protests in Melbourne, some sick groups were chanting, "You serve us," at police officers, and many protesters in Canberra suggested they had a right to occupy Parliament House. Like, what am I not understanding about this? Can somebody please explain to me this to me? Someone has put together this, okay, and I actually think it's very clever. So, Code Apprehensive, well done. He said, "Soft-sit, I have spiritual connection to the land and your man-made laws don't apply to me." First Nations, I have a spiritual connection to the land and your man-made laws don't apply to me. I'm confused. Which one are we told to ridicule and which one are we told to venerate?
Yep, exactly right. Two-tier. That's all it is, guys. Two-tier. The Anglo-Saxon, you're on the bottom of the tier, okay? And anyone else that wants to, congregate with us or be part of a free-thinking society, you're in trouble.
Well, it's actually led to this little statement here on the firearms being fast.
In the wake of the Papunka shooting, there are renewed calls this morning for a national firearms register. The initiative was first promised when 2 Queensland officers were fatally shot in Weambilla in 2022. Now both sides of Parliament are calling for it to be fast-tracked.
We need to make sure that we know where our firearms are in this country.
For 20 years we've had a national firearms agreement, Carl, and the states have not got one register of firearms together.
State governments are currently responsible for their own firearms registry. National Cabinet committed to the measure almost 2 years ago. In the wake of the Papunka shooting, there are renewed calls.
Sorry, wrong one there. I was thinking it was another one. I actually wanted to play Cossack's one as well on that. So, did you want to?
That's a good point. Look, that is a good point that Cossack made actually there. That is a very good point. They've broken their own protocol, guys. Have a look at that if you've got it there, Coach.
I've got it.
G'day guys, Aussie Cossack here. Approaching 1,000 days locked in the Russian consulate. Also on the run from the New South Wales Police as a fugitive. Not as wanted as Desi Freeman. I'm wanted for very minor things, but nevertheless I'm defiantly holding the line and not giving in to the cops. But Desi Freeman, this bloke in rural Victoria who's literally in Ned Kelly's backyard, not far from Glen Rowan, and doing the same thing Ned Kelly did. He's on the run. Now what I want to say about this is the police themselves are to blame for being shot, and I'll tell you why. It sounds insensitive, it sounds terrible, and you're going to think, what's he on about? But of course, condolences to their families. We don't want any police to be killed, but this is the reason why they're to blame. This protocol, police protocol, they didn't follow their own protocol when it comes to an FPO. Now, FPO, Firearms Prohibition Order. I know about this because I myself have an FPO, and I used to be searched all the time. Now, police never rock up to your house if you have an FPO. If they suspect you have firearms, illegal firearms, legal firearms, whatever, access to firearms, they will never knock on the door and grab you and give you time to react, give you time to reach in and grab a gun or a shotgun or a rifle or a handgun. If the police have put an FPO on you, what they'll do is they will intercept you and grab you on the way home when you're walking into a house. So there's not an opportunity for you to ambush them. Now these aren't my rules, this is the rules that the police set for themselves. And I challenge any police officer watching this to disagree with me. If you have a suspect or a person of interest who you are apprehending and you know there's an FPO, Firearms Prohibition Order on them, do you just barge through the door or catch them off guard? or catch them in the backyard, or catch them in their bus, or catch them in their whatever, where they could have access to a firearm. No, you don't. You do things in such a way where there's the element of surprise, the element of a standoff, the element of a potential siege or a shooting is taken out of the equation. It's called OHS, it's called risk mitigation. This is the police rules, these aren't my rules. So the police who apprehended Desi Freeman on his own property, whatever happened, it ended up with 2 police officers being killed, shot, and a 3rd one being shot and injured, right? Was protocol followed? Did the police follow their own protocol when apprehending someone which they themselves have labelled as being the recipient of a firearms prohibition order? That's the question you should be asking, and my prediction is in the next 1 to 2 weeks there will be statements made by the police through the media where they will admit to making a mistake. So you do not apprehend someone with an FPO.
Good point, Cossack. I've never had firearms, so I've never been through anything like that, but that makes perfect sense, yeah. You know, how did they get me that day? They, waited until Mel was on her way to work. They intercepted her. The moment I stepped off the boat, they intercepted me. Yeah, he's right in how they do things, so, yeah, very interesting. Very, very interesting, guys. As we all knew, as soon as it went down, yeah.
That's it. All right, so let's have a look at the flyers.
And the Mondays at Maggie's crew is calling for tools down. It's time to stand together. A corrupt and tyrannical government is crushing industries, stripping freedoms and silencing voices. So join us every Monday at the Governor's House in Sydney at 11 a.m. And on Mondays, don't forget Mondays at Maggie's, the Frank and Charles podcast. They will be hitting the streets this week. Mondays at Maggie's. And the Wollongong FUCCP parade will start on Sunday, September 7th at 8 a.m, leaving Helensburgh, parading through Thirroul, Bulli, Port Kembla, Shell Harbour, Dapto and finish at Stewart Park, Wollongong. There will be a barbecue from 1 p.m. with guest speakers. And there is a public protest rally, Stop E-Karen, no to digital ID, no biometric facial scanning, 1 p.m. on Saturday the 13th of September, Piermont Bay Park. And on Saturday, the 22nd of November, there is an Abolish Abortion Australia conference. This will be featuring T. Russell Hunter. And in Victoria, we have the following events. In Melbourne, gather at the Governor's every Saturday to end the tyranny. 10 a.m. every Saturday at the Governor Gates. And join the Justice of the People in Melbourne every Sunday at 4:30 p.m. for a remembrance at the Shrine of Remembrance. And the Freedom Unites Coast and Country Parades will now be held on September the 6th and 7th, which is a Saturday and Sunday. Jodie's inviting everyone to register their interest now. And a stand in the park, Albury Wodonga, are celebrating 5 years. So on Sunday, the 7th of September, they're hosting a barbecue. And the People's Revolution, MMAMV Australia, My Place Australia, and the Worldwide Freedom Rallies are hosting the Australia Unites Against the Government Corruption. Locations are to be announced, and it is on Saturday the 13th of September, nationwide, 12 p.m. We've lost confidence in our government. Let's stand up united and push back. Daily prayer space is held on X at 3 p.m. So whatever you're facing, come along and we can lift you up in prayer. Every day, 3 p.m. on X. Melissa 146233923.
Big weekend.
It's a huge weekend. Now, what we've got here is we've also got Craig Kelly. Now, this is incredible. I haven't really been following this because there's been so much else going on. Now, so what Julie Inman Grant did was she actually, a trove of emails released in the House Judiciary Committee investigation detailed efforts by the activist group Global Alliance and Responsible Media to limit the reach and influence of President Trump in 2022.
Election interference.
Well, it's very interesting. Like I need to actually read up about that on the weekend, but it's just, this is just our government. It's just shocking.
Yep. Yeah,
It's
I
making
think
me
Trump
hard.
knows about that now. I think I don't know, but I think he does actually. So yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
and this one's very interesting as well. So now this is not this is actually we often talk about lobbyist groups. Well, this is actually Israel. They're the
Yep.
people, the Liberal National Party, who have taken trips to Israel. Now, if you've
Yep.
heard of people who they go there and they court you and they say, well, you know, we just want to be friends. You know, we want, and it's putting their interest should be Australia, not Israel, not anyone else. Australia, that's it. Now, the other thing that's really interesting as well is, and we've played a lot of his stuff, Punters Politics. Scotty, a while ago, called this guy out and said he was shilling for the Teals and said what he should be doing is saying that Australia needs free energy. Okay, every Australian should have free energy. And here he is. Like, I mean, what do you make of this? Here he is schmoozing up and his selfie with Top Dog, cheers elbow. Like, and here he is with all of the Teals.
Well, there you go. Infiltration is rife, guys. Infiltration is rife. And if we got it wrong, we apologise straight up. But yeah.
Yeah, no, that's it. We do. Now let's get on to the ATO. We actually are having wins, and one of them is this big one. This is overseas, but it actually does affect us because it's huge. Okay, so the CDC is sued for neglecting to test the safety of the entire 72-dose childhood vaccine schedule. So they're actually being sued. And you also had people lobbying to remove liability. Immunity, sorry. So that they, once they're liable for something, then that'll basically shut them down because there's just so much damage that's already been done. And a big win in Australia, ATO whistleblower, Richard Doyle. Have a listen to this.
I just want to say thank you to all the supporters. That's all for today. Thank you very much. Really appreciate everyone over the last 6 or 7 years supporting me and the Reds. Thank you very much. And I'd like to say thank you to Richard on behalf of all Australians, and I'd like to present the banner that we've got prepared for you over there. Australians say thank you, Richard Boyle.
Thank you,
Now, for those of you that don't remember, he actually found fraud within the tax department and reported it through the proper channels, and then they started a vicious prosecution campaign on him.
And he won it.
He's won it. Yep, he's won it.
And
all right,
the
now
public is seeing it. Yep.
Exactly. Now, there's lots of shenanigans going on with regards to the 31st. And the shenanigans that we see at the moment that we know of is is things like which we've had to happen to us, of course, and that is major delays for passengers. This is V-Line. V-Line coach replacement services on Saturday the 30th of August and Sunday the 31st of August. This is due to road closures and detours. So it was that, and it was also between Williamstown and Millers Roads. There was actually a shutdown there as well. You have also got this here. Now, this is really interesting. So the police have declared Melbourne CBD a designated area on protest day. Victorians heading into Melbourne CBD, 31st of August, should be aware that police have declared that the entire central city is a designated area under the control of the Weapons Act. The declaration means that from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m, and it covers the heart of Melbourne, including Southern Cross Station and all of the area where people are protesting. This gives police and protective services officers, I don't even know what that is, search people, their bags, their vehicles without a warrant. Direct people to remove face coverings if officers suspect they are being warned to conceal identity. Move people on if they believe someone may engage in disorder, violence. Charge individuals who refuse to comply. So that's very interesting. So there's two lots of things here. Maybe they're doing it to harass us, or maybe they're actually, maybe some good guys have seen the potential for volatility and they're actually stepping in to make sure that that doesn't happen. So it could be either. What do you think?
Yes. I think that they'll just be putting the message out, and it'll be to us people. It won't be. They won't be searching the Palestinian crowd for anything, guys. All right. So yeah, be very careful. My advice would be, if you're in Melbourne or Sydney and you're instructed to do something by the cops, you know, like move along or whatever, just do it. All right. Don't give them the excuse, guys. You know, it's nothing to move 10 yards and keep filming. You know what I mean? Just don't, you know, because we don't know who's going to be playing the cards up here, okay? And we could be a couple of sides playing them. I don't know. I don't think we've got the resources in Sydney to be playing that dirty sort of pool. And I do believe that the police are starting to wake up to sick parents, sick kids.
Yeah, no, there's actually,
this,
well, it's interesting, isn't it? Now, the other thing about the protesters is anybody starts making trouble, the easiest thing to do is just to sit down. And also be aware that they'll probably run disruption. So they'll send messages that it's been moved. And if anyone starts throwing things, well, most people in Melbourne always carry an umbrella anyway. Just put up an umbrella. So anyway, everyone needs just stay
and the
safe,
route for
everyone.
Sydney, what you're marching in Sydney, guys, is actually on Ben Fordham. I don't think we've cut it out yet, but it's actually on the Ben Fordham clip, about 7/8 of the way through, you know, something like that. You'll find which streets we're supposed to be marching, which way the police have, got us to march up there. So, well, not us, but us, whoever's going up there. But obviously Beck, but yeah, so I don't, you know, I did hear them. I can't remember them, but they're keeping the Palestinians and another immigration rally right away, so they say, from this particular side of the event. So
now the Western Australia Premier Roger Cook, he had this to say on it.
Anyone that seeks to demonise migration to Australia, to Western Australia, are really just driving an agenda of hate and division.
It's not migration, it's mass migration. Get it right. That's the issue, it's the mass migration. It's not migration, it's the mass migration where people are priced out of housing.
Look, and it's not only that, Kaz. If they were just priced out of housing, that would be one thing. They're giving businesses, they're giving up to $1 million grants. You know what I mean? They're giving homes in front of us. They're giving this, they're giving that. You know, Their bank accounts are full. This is for nothing. That's for nothing.
Yeah,
you know,
I think everyone can agree that the age of migrant entitlement is over. We're done. No more $1 million grants to buy Australian businesses. You know, it's just done.
Just ridiculous.
It is. Now, I really wanted to play this. I had to actually, I didn't bring it down before the show, so I've got to go and find it. But this is very interesting. So this is the MK Ultra we've heard about. This is it in action. Have a look at it.
Under direct orders.
Orders by whom? Mr. DeCamp, would you please instruct your client when he has to answer these questions?
Yes. You're supposed to answer these questions. Does this have to do with Monarch? Yes. If I use the code, will that help? Which I just obtained in the last hour. D6413782, program XPY Eagle Alex Hope. Please go ahead and answer all questions.
I was created by a government program.
Which government program?
Monarch.
And what is Monarch?
Monarch is an operation that was created by the United States government to create spies for other countries. They use children for the purpose that they're easily integrated into multiple personalities because they can dissociate. Monarch is a program that is run by Michael Angelo Aquino, who was an Army Reserve colonel at Presidio. He is also the leader of the Temple of Set. He also runs a child daycare center. He also is involved in human sacrifice.
Is he employed by the United States?
Yes,
At what facility?
Presidio, California.
Is that in San Francisco area? Presidio
Yes.
Naval Base?
Yes.
You know, Dave and I have often talked about, you know, we've got 5 generations of MK Ultra. Like,
Look,
this is the issue, you
it's,
know.
when the public actually wake up to what these guys, the technologies they have, okay, and what they can do, they will be outraged. You will see towers coming down, okay, but until we can, you know, and it's a wild one to go out on, Kaz. You know, I mentioned it, you know, a bit here, and I've experienced it now, but, you know, for our sort of show, it's a hard thing to talk about because people will think you're absolutely nuts. But what I say to them is go and search the patents. It's all there. The technology is there.
Yeah. Look, there's a lot of stuff. If you go into the CIA declassification website, there's a lot of stuff. You know, they actually admit about remote viewing, and they also admit in their papers that we have the ability to project into the future. That so when you get a gut feeling about something, it's because there's no time in consciousness. So your consciousness is actually already shifted forward or backwards, and it's telling you, it's dictating to you your next moves in order to, well, we're built for survival. So in order to keep you alive or to keep everything okay. So yeah, it's all interesting stuff anyway.
Very, very interesting. And it's very much a part of their war against us, guys. It's their technologies that they're using against us. But anyway.
All right, so tonight we're being taken out by Let Us Down, and it's by Mood and Lyrics. So Dave, if you'd like to wrap up and close the show, I shall hit play.
Yeah, well, I think you know, it's going to be a great weekend, guys. As I said, we'll you know, all things being correct and true, we will be up in Sydney, me and the wife, and yeah, let's have a good weekend. But public appearance, guys, all right, let's remember something if you're going to this rally, okay, something I've preached at you before, all right, the little riddle. What's the only thing in life you don't get a second chance at? A first impression. So on the weekend, make sure your first impression to everyone that you meet is an impression of love, confidence, curiosity maybe, but certainly no aggression, guys, all right? Get to know who's up there. Make this a marketing campaign. Get to know people, you know, and talk, okay? But just take that with you. First impression. You never get a second chance, okay? So make every first impression up there a good one, guys. That's how we win this thing. All right, good night, people. Have a great weekend. Have a safe weekend, all right? And keep your heads on a friggin' swivel. Good luck.
We built this land with our hands and our sweat, dreams on the table and unpaid debts. But the ones in the towers, they turn away, counting their silver while we break each day. The homeless are sleeping on city streets while they're raising their glasses in parliament seats. Nurses are breaking, teachers one thing, yet the answers are locked where the money's been. We gave you our voices, we gave you our trust, but promises crumble, they turn into dust. Oh, Australia, can't you hear the sound? The people are crying, we're hitting the ground. We needed your strength, but you're nowhere around. Our government silence has let us down. Farmers stage. We're tired of the lies and we're tired of the cage. We're lighting a fire, we're raising our hands. The power belongs to the people, not plans. From the outback dust to the harbor shore, we've carried the weight, but we can't anymore. The First Nations voices are still standing tall, and justice won't come till there's justice for all. We don't want your speeches, we don't want your spin. We just want a country where we